afternoon, wonderful golfers. My name is Jihad Kasu, and I find myself at the magnificent Rondebosch Golf Course in Cape Town, Western Cape today. It's a sunny but incredibly windy day out there, so I'm much happier to be speaking to you right now instead of braving the elements out on the course. This afternoon, I'll be speaking to and interviewing a very special guest in Dylan Naidoo, the latest winner on the Sunshine Tour, who over the weekend has won the Sunbet Challenge sponsored by Sibaya and hosted at the Mhlali Country Club in Durban. We'll be discussing the significance of his win, with him being a member of the Papwa Sewgolum transformation class created by the Sunshine Tour to bridge the gap between historically disadvantaged golfers and their more affluent counterparts. I'll also be talking to Rajen Sewgolum, the son of the legendary Papwa Sewgolum, and what this win means to the family and what it bodes for the future of aspirant black golfers in South Africa. So stay tuned. Viewers, as promised earlier, we've got the pleasure and the honor of speaking to Dylan Naidoo this evening or this afternoon, after his maiden and watershed or landmark win over this weekend past. So, and also joining us is Rajen Sewgolum, the son of the legendary golfer Papwa Sewgolum. Good afternoon and welcome to you both.
Hi, Jihad.
Uncle Jihad.
Yes, hi, Dylan.
Fantastic.
How are you doing, Uncle?
Very well, thanks. Thank you.
Cool.
So, Dylan, you must still be floating on cloud nine after a memorable weekend, and I think one that is really going to mark and set a precedent for the performances that we felt for a long time is coming, and now that it's there, I guess it's just a little bit of momentum that you needed to get going. What has this weekend been like since the win?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. It's just been super busy, just a lot of interviews, a lot of people wanting to hear what I have to say. But yeah, it's been really something special. You know, it's a memory that I'll never forget. And it's just an experience that I know is going to stand me in good stead for the rest of the season and for the rest of the year.
Fantastic. Look, you are a member of the Papwa Sewgolum transformation class created by the Sunshine Tour. We understand that the class has existed before. It's been called the Gary Player class, if I'm not mistaken. Can you maybe just walk us through, you know, how the name change happened and came about, and what that means to you as an Indian pro golfer?
Yeah, so when the Gary Player class kind of came to an end, when the contracts had run through with the sponsors, we basically were just the transformation class on the Sunshine Tour, and the question was put to us, what would we like to name ourselves? And I suggested the Papwa Sewgolum class, and you know, I just kind of left it at that. I said I suggested we do this, and then you know, the people behind the scenes on the Sunshine Tour obviously got to work and you know, got in contact with everyone. And you know, when I found out that they'd actually used the name, it was such a special moment, because Papwa is someone who I've always regarded as a hero for me. You know, before I turned pro, you know, it was always just a name that I've known since I was a young kid. My dad had always spoken about him, and it's really special for us players of color to have someone like that recognized as the name for our class.
Fantastic. I think that's such an important point that you are bringing to light right now. You're still a very young athlete, and while you are still trying to, you know, carve your space into the pro golfing career, you've developed broad shoulders, because you've also taken on the task. I think you were on the transformation committee on the Sunshine Tour for a period as well, which demonstrates how broad your thinking is beyond your game. And it's admirable to see such selfless athletes at such a young age taking on the responsibility to try and create a bit more of an inclusive environment for aspirant black golfers.
Yeah, 100%. It's something that I've always been passionate about. If you can, even going back to my Golf RSA days, you know, you can speak to someone like Greg Dodonka or one of the other former heads of the Golf RSA committee. You know, it's something that transformation has been something that I've always grown up with, and it's an important part of sport in South Africa, you know. And as sometimes it may feel like golf is a little on the uptake for that. And I think that the Sunshine Tour has been my first experience with an organization that has really, really embraced transformation, not just, you know, put a small little quota in place, but actually trying to make a real difference in the lives of professional golfers. And it's really special.
Fantastic. When we watched some of your interviews over the weekend, you mentioned that you kind of felt the order of Papua's history in Durban, seeing that your maiden victory has come in the same region that Papwa lived in and played most of his golf. What was that realization like for you?
Yeah, it was super special. Whenever I come to Durban, I always think about Papwa, and I always think about the legacy that he's left behind. In the past, my best finish on tour a couple of years ago was at Mount Edgecombe, and I remember they even had a little history thing in the clubhouse about Papwa, and it just felt so right that was one of my best finishes. And this week was kind of no different. It just felt like it was right that I won in Durban. He's like I said, he's a hero to me and to many players of color. And during the round, it's very difficult to be actively thinking about it. You're so stuck in the process of trying to play a golf tournament. But afterwards, I mean, all the emotion kind of came out. As the round progressed, after I finished, I figured I was going to be in a playoff. And so myself and my caddy went to the chipping green, which is a little way away from all the noise on the 18th green. And my caddy, Ezekiel Mparu, he actually knew Papwa. They used to travel together. And so he doesn't really talk a lot about Papwa unless I prompt him and say, what is he like? What kind of a guy was he like? How was it like to travel with him? How good was he, But that afternoon, he just spoke so freely about him, and it was really beautiful. It was really something that was special for me.
Fantastic. Rajen, listening to these accounts from Dylan now, how significant is this win by another Indian golfer or a black golfer for the Sewgolum family?
I think this is a major step in Dylan's life. And more importantly, I think the fact that he's recognized and offered his tribute to my dad, it says a lot about him and his character. Dylan is a youngster, but the fact that, he's now talking about a golfer who won tournaments in the late 50s and early 60s, it says a lot about how much he knows about the history of Papua. And that is significant, I think, both for myself and my family. But more importantly, when I was listening to Dylan speak, it gave me goosebumps because, there's a lot of stories that I heard about Dad when he won the Dutch Open for the first time and returning home to a hero's welcome. And, he was embraced by everybody in South Africa. And, not being allowed to play in South Africa, but only being allowed to play in Europe was a major step for him. And, I'm hoping that, that Dylan is offered a benefactor like my dad was, by the name of Graham Wolf. He sponsored my dad. He took Dad overseas in his private plane and so on. And, if it wasn't for that particular, interjection by Graham Wolf, Dad would never have played overseas. And, as much as we speak about transformation, golf is the fastest growing sport, but, globally, it is still the slowest in terms of transformation. And, the fact that Dylan has won this tournament, I'm hoping that he becomes a catalyst for other golfers of color to be able to follow in that particular footstep. And, it's our fervent hope and prayer that Dylan wins the tournament overseas.
Fantastic. Absolutely. I echo those sentiments. And, Dylan, I don't know if you're packed already or in the process of packing, but you're actually leaving for Spain tomorrow, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm leaving for second stage DP World Tour.
There we go. And so you really have an opportunity to, as I think in one of your interviews, you said, try and emulate just a little bit of Papwa's legacy, And this is not about Papwa, it's about you. And we want you to understand that we see great potential in you, and you've got the country's support behind you. We want you to thrive. We want you to win. So we're looking forward to keeping an eye on you and willing you on from our TV screens as we watch you apply your skill all over the world. And hopefully that maiden international win comes much, much sooner than what you might think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Speaking to what Uncle Rajen was saying about having a benefactor, I've been so grateful to Dr. Kinesh Patha and his team at National and GCC and at Sidel Asset Management for all of their help and support. Without that, I would never have even dreamed of going to Corn Ferry Tour Q School last year and going to DP World Tour Q School this year. It's something that is really special, and I'm really, really thankful for them for their support.
Fantastic. Certainly, though, the Sunshine Tours transformation class is doing a bit towards creating a more conducive environment for historically disadvantaged athletes to be on a bit more of an even footing with their more affluent competitors. But there certainly is room for improvement. So hopefully your win now, after such a short period, after renaming the class to the Papwa Sewgolum class, there's a winner coming from the class right now. And I think that this is the moment that could be the catalyst for other brands and sponsors to say, you know what, this is a real opportunity for us, not only to elevate awareness and reach for our brand, but to invest in the development and the career of a young professional golfer.
100%. I think if I was a corporate looking at how the class is shaping up, we had another win today by Fizikile Kana at the Blue Label Development Tour. And it's just fantastic. I mean, he was so complimentary of me, and Fizikile is such a great guy. And, to have even thought that I would inspire someone like that, who he's older than me, but like we are motivating each other and we're pushing each other. There's so many guys on tour, players of color, who are such good golfers, and they just need that little bit of extra help, that little bit of financial security to make it a lot easier for them,
Speaking about the rest of the class and unwittingly being an inspiration and a beacon to them, what do you feel that your win now signals to this class that perhaps doubted what it could offer them moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I said it in my speech, and they posted it today. I'm surprised I was even people could understand what I was saying, because I was just bawling my eyes out the whole time during the interview. But what I was trying to say was that, this win is for every player of color who doesn't know if he's good enough, who feels unsure about himself when he steps on tour. No, we are good enough. We deserve to be here. Our game speaks for itself. And I hope that just that little bit of confidence that it can give you to show that this is possible. This isn't a pipe dream somewhere down the line. This is what we can do now,
Fantastic. Look, after this win now, everyone's going to ask, when's the next one? It's like when someone has a kid, they ask, when's the next one? So you're moving on to the international stage now as well. You also have access to the co-sanctioned events in South Africa. Do you feel somewhat added pressure now that you've won, or do you feel that you've satisfied potential naysayers, or you've proven to yourself that I knew I could do it? It was, I say to myself, it was always just a matter of time looking at you play. And I've had the opportunity to watch you for the first time earlier this year at the Cape Town Open when you played at Royal Cape. And for me, it was a very special moment. I didn't want to interrupt you while you were playing and changing holes, but it was a great opportunity for me to really experience the skill that you've displayed on television, and to see it first time was really special. But do you think now that there's a bit more added pressure on you after this win?
I definitely don't feel more added pressure. I definitely feel less pressure. In fact, I think the pressure is more self-imposed than it is, the outside agencies. And I'm very, very proud of myself to have won. It was something that I felt like I was capable of. I think throughout my career, this is probably the first time where I doubted whether I would get to that next level. When I played junior golf, I knew I was going to be the best. When I got to, I knew I'd be the best amateur when I was playing junior golf. And when I was an amateur golfer, I knew I'd play professional golf. This was the first time really where I said, am I good enough to do this? Like, these are bloody good players. And I know I'm good, but I haven't even been close so far in 2.5 years. And I'm glad that in the last, 2 or 3 months, I've given myself a few opportunities and learned from it every single time. And to get it off my back, I feel far less pressure now.
Fantastic. Well, that answer in itself demonstrates the great emotional intelligence and maturity that you've developed over years. And it's going to stand you in good stead moving forward. Rajen, do you have any parting words or message to Dylan before we wrap up the interview?
Yes, just a quick one. Dylan. Once again, our hopes and prayers are with you that you are successful overseas, and you've now got the monkey off your back by winning this tournament on the Sunshine Tour, and you quite rightly said so. That you've taken on some of the best here in SA. So carry that same spirit to go out there, do what you do best, and all our best wishes from the Papwa family.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rajen. Thank you, Dylan, for making the time on a very busy schedule. I think you must be bleeding out of your ears of all of the interviews that have been coming your way. But that in itself is testament to the significance of your win. And we look forward to seeing much, much more of your success and your mentorship to younger aspirant golfers moving forward. So everything of the best. We wish you safe travels to Spain. We hope that you get through and get your DP World Tour card. So Godspeed to you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much to Uncle Rajen and the foundation and everything you guys are doing. And I'm glad, like I always say it, and I will continue to say it for the rest of my professional career, is if I can honor Papwa in any small way, I will continue to do that for as long as I'm a professional golfer. So thank you guys.
Fantastic. Thank you. Bye-bye.